My name is Mike Styliano. I am the Head of International at Rock School UK. Rock School is an awarding body or an examinations board founded in London in 1991, which delivers and creates qualifications and examinations for contemporary musicians, performers and practitioners. So our main provision is graded music exams in contemporary music and the contemporary music instruments such as guitar, bass, drums, vocals, keys. But we also do examinations in performing arts, dance, and we also offer vocational qualifications and diplomas too. I understand that Verve offers a very holistic approach to music education, and that's exactly what Rock School aims to do through a number of its examinations, especially the popular music theory, where we introduce all of the key band instruments to the student who's studying the syllabus. Whether he be a guitarist or a vocalist or a bass player or a pianist, they have to understand how these instruments interact in a band setting, understand more about these instruments and everything that comes with it, such as their notation, the technique that a player needs to use. They basically have to understand how to read an arrangement that's made for a complete band and not just focus on that for their sole instrument. The key elements of the syllabus is really to bring the candidate right to the beginning and build up a specific knowledge of popular music theory right onto an advanced level. And the way we do that is obviously introduce the basics as you would expect at music theory level in terms of notation and ornaments and the standard things you would expect, which doesn't vary from the classical music theory as such. But as it develops, and you have to learn specific notation for the band instruments, the guitar notation, the drum notation as well, which varies completely, as well as learning about how these instruments interact, how the different techniques a player can use in order to change the style or change the emotion or the feeling they're putting into the piece. And basically building up a grounded knowledge on popular music theory, which we feel isn't exactly the same as classical music theory. Yes, there are elements that kind of combine the two, but we feel popular music theory has enough content for it to have a standalone syllabus. Popular music is often thought of as a very, very modern thing that's kind of come out of its own area, when in fact the genres that appear within contemporary music are developments of classical music themes. So when you kind of delve into the genres a bit more in terms of rhythm and harmony, there are comparisons you can draw from classical music theory into popular music theory. So the question arises, why is there such a comprehensive classical music theory syllabus and there isn't for popular music theory if the comparisons are there, if there are similarities between the two? And this is where Rock School felt that there was a huge gap in the market, there's a huge lack of understanding in terms of popular music theory as a whole, and felt that we wanted to offer students an equally rigorous qualification and offer them the chance to really get to grips with the nuances of popular music theory in terms of style, in terms of the specific scales and modes that appear in popular music theory that they need to understand, that appear in all the kind of contemporary songs you hear nowadays. So it's basically giving candidates and students the same opportunity as a classical music learner. So with regards to popular music, there is of course specific details with regard to rhythm and harmony that appear solely in popular music, but classical musicians will also find that the fundamentals of classical music theory is also part of contemporary music theory. It's just there are certain additions to what they've already learned in terms of scale, in terms of rhythm, and in terms of learning about different types of instruments and how they interact with each other. Music theory, in the sense, brings all genres of music together. It's just the application of the music theory that differs. So there will always be similarities between the two, but it's just an extension maybe of what they've already learned. So this is an excellent way for classical musicians and those who've learned about classical music theory just to build on what they've already learned and learn about it and how it applies in completely different ways. And you know, even when they go, after having learned popular music theory, they go back to performing some more and learning some more classical pieces, there will no doubt be similarities that they can draw on that they've picked up in the popular music theory course. So it's an excellent way to kind of bridge the two together and not leave them in two kind of separate entities, and just teach music theory as a whole. I'm aware that Verve has run rock school exams for a while now, and it's been great to come and visit this time round, it's been nice to kind of meet all the teachers and understand their approach to, I mean, whilst it's a classical music, it offers courses in classical music and contemporary music. It's been really interesting to understand the approach of combining the two and delivering an overall education in music, kind of a well-rounded, kind of holistic approach that kind of gives students the full understanding, be it in popular music, be it in classical music. And I think that's such a great thing, because rock school almost shares the same objective, in the sense that we don't want to limit it to a certain style or a certain instrument at all. We have the objective of offering a well-rounded and holistic education in much the same way.